Hello everybody, Andrea Tarowski here with Dentalelle Tutoring. I am going to give you guys some tips on pretty much how to study for the board exam and when to get started, and just simply why it's so important to study every single day, okay? So I'm not talking about studying every Saturday or every Sunday, but study a little bit every single day. If you work full-time, if you work part-time, that's fine, but find time to study. I remember when I was a student, some weeks I did work full-time, other weeks I worked part-time. It just sort of depended on the schedule and how many clinical hours I needed that week. Towards the end of the semesters, we had less time in school, but more time in clinic. So if I had a patient or not, I might not have had to be there type thing. But I would always find time to study. If I had to work that night, but I was in school all day, you might be thinking, okay, when did you have time to study then? Well, it took me about an hour to get to school, and then it also took me an hour to get to work. So I would be studying on the subway while I was getting ready to go to work, or I should say while I was on the subway waiting to go to work. So instead of just sitting there looking out the window, that's when I took the time to study. Or at lunchtime, you guys, I would take the time to study. I would sit somewhere quietly. I would sit outside in the summertime, eat my lunch, and that's when I would take the time to study. Because I took the board exam when I was still in school. I was in my last semester, about 2 months before I was supposed to graduate. So as you can imagine, 2 months before, there's a lot of clinic, there's a lot of work to do, but at the same time, you're probably not in school every single day. So if I had a day off, instead of going shopping with my friends, instead of, doing something else, I would take that time to study. I know that may sound harsh and that may sound like, well, you don't really have a life then. Well, you know what? In school, it's more important to pass. My hair just looks a little bit funny. Sorry guys, I was trying to fix it. It's more important to pass than it is to have a life. I'm not saying don't have any life whatsoever. Like if you've been studying all day long, then by all means, treat yourself and go for a walk. Go shopping, go see a movie, treat yourself, absolutely. But don't think, okay, I'll go out with my friends all day Saturday and then I'll study all night Saturday. It never happens. We all know it never happens. So make studying your priority first, and then say to yourself, okay, I've been studying all day, or I've been studying for the past 4 hours. I am going to treat myself. I'm going to go out for lunch. I'm going to go to the mall for half an hour, look around, do what makes you happy, but make studying your priority. And I say this because you all want to pass the first time, right? If you didn't pass the test the first time, you want to pass the second time, because every time you take that test, it means more time that you have to take away, less of your life that you have because you have to study. And every time you have to take the exam again, you feel less and less confident because you technically know more than you did the last time, but you feel less confident because there's so much pressure. You feel so anxious that it's actually harder to study because you're thinking, okay, I've looked through all of this. I know this, so why can't I pass the exam? Try to not think of those negative thoughts, okay? I know it's hard, I know it's not easy, but if you've taken the exam once, twice, even 3 times, try not to think, okay, I have studied this chapter like 13 times, there's no point studying it because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. So try not to think negative. So that's another thing. Think positive. Even if you've failed a couple times, there's always that next time that you will pass, but you do have to think, well, why did I fail the first time? Or why did I fail the second time? If you weren't studying every single day, that could have been a reason, or you weren't very focused in your studying. So that's another thing. Make sure to be focused, and I can help you with that. That is why I like the Board Exam Prep Academy so much, because we all help each other. I will help you stay focused. I tell you guys exactly what to study per week, and then you look at your week, because everybody's schedule's a little bit different, and say, okay, Monday I maybe have an hour to study because I work all day and I have something to do with family at nighttime. So maybe I'll have about 2 hours. Tuesday, okay, I do have Tuesday off, so maybe I'll spend 6 hours studying that day, because Wednesday I'm in school all day, but then I have clinic at nighttime, so same thing, I might only be able to study for 2 hours. That's okay, because we all have different things we have to do. But if you know what you have to study that week per chapter, per teaching lesson, that will help you manage your time a lot easier, because there is such a thing as studying too much. Like if you're studying all day, every day, Monday to Sunday, you will quickly become exhausted. You will quickly become angry and say, okay, I am studying so much. Why does she know more than me? When she just said that she studies an hour a day, that's it. I should know more. I should know everything. But why is it when I take a mock exam, I don't get any of the answers right? So there is such a thing as studying too much. But there's also a thing as not studying enough. But there's another thing where you may be studying all day long, but you're not really that focused. Like if you're checking your cell phone every 10 minutes, if you're calling somebody every hour, if you're checking your, email, that's not being focused. So put your cell phone away and study, okay? I like to say a minimum of 3 hours and a maximum of 6, but everybody studies a little bit differently. So sometimes I might say, well, if you just literally only have 1 hour a day to study, make sure that's all you are doing for that hour, okay? Don't be checking your cell phone, don't be eating, don't be having a snack, don't be watching a show, but study for that hour. And another thing that helps a lot is try not to only look in the textbook, or try not to only study from your notes, but try to mix it up, okay? Watch YouTube videos online, okay? I have tons of them. I just did an hour-long pharmacology session 2 weeks ago, okay? Watch that. So if you're thinking, okay, pharmacology I hate, I don't like, how am I going to study it because it makes me fall asleep? Watch a video. Let me teach you. So then that way it's kind of like you're in class, but a lot more exciting because you're in your own home, you're in a library, you're in a coffee shop, and you don't have to sit there and just read pharmacology, because we all know pharmacology is boring. So let me help you. And I have another video on pharmacology, or on oral pathology, sorry. That's about an hour. I just did a video on the difference between piezos and cavitrons. I did a video about eruption patterns. So there's tons there, you guys. So look in my YouTube channel, because I have literally hundreds of videos, I think, like hundreds, tons, because I have been doing this for a long time. And in the Board Exam Prep Academy, we have a tutoring session twice a month. So at that point, if you guys have any questions, if you say something like, okay, I was studying pharmacology, but I'm still confused about the common medications, can we talk about that the next time? Sure. Absolutely, because I am here to help you. I don't teach you what I want to teach you. Students let me know what they want to learn. So you never have to be thinking, okay, I kind of want to learn more about oral pathology, but she